Every empire in history built itself on gold, land, or blood. But America built hers on something far stranger: debt. A promise to pay that never really gets paid. A system that grows stronger the more it borrows. Today, that promise has become a $34 trillion chain stretching across generations. And somehow, the world still trusts it. How did a nation go from the world's largest creditor to the planet's biggest borrower and still call it power? This is the story of how America turned debt into an empire. Once upon a time, debt was a dirty word. To owe money meant weakness. Nations that borrowed too much fell. Spain, France, even Britain, all learned that debt was the silent killer of empires. But after World War II, something changed. The United States emerged rich, untouched, and holding most of the world's gold. The dollar became the world's anchor, and every other country owed it something. For a brief moment, America was the lender of last resort, the world's financial heartbeat. But that wouldn't last. Because when you control the money printer, temptation always wins. Imagine you own the world's only credit card, and everyone else had to use it. That's what America had after 1944. Through the Bretton Woods Agreement, the US dollar became as good as gold. Every major economy linked its currency to the dollar, and the dollar, in theory, to gold. But "in theory" is the key phrase. By the 1960s, the US was spending more than ever on the Cold War, space race, and social programs, printing dollars faster than it could dig gold. Foreign nations noticed. They started demanding their gold back, and by 1971 the vault was running dry. So President Nixon cut the cord, ending the gold standard and freeing the dollar from any physical limit. From that moment, America discovered something extraordinary. Debt could replace gold. It wasn't just a way to survive, it became a way to dominate. The US realized that as long as the world needed dollars for trade, oil, and finance, it could print wealth out of thin air, and the world would still accept it. Debt became America's new export. The 1980s changed everything. Reaganomics promised prosperity, but behind the speeches was a new religion: spend now, borrow forever. Deficits no longer mattered, because debt itself became the engine of growth. Every war, every tax cut, every bailout was paid for with invisible money. Wall Street learned to profit from it. Government bonds became the safest investment on earth, and soon, global markets were built on the assumption that the US would never, ever default. By 2008, debt wasn't just a policy, it was a lifestyle. People borrowed for homes they couldn't afford. Banks leveraged money they didn't have. And when the house of cards collapsed, Washington printed more money to rebuild it. The system had become self-replicating, like a financial organism that feeds on the very thing that should destroy it. Today, US debt isn't just an internal problem. It's the world's backbone. Every country holds American bonds. Every trade settles in US dollars. Every central bank depends on America's promise to pay. If the US stops borrowing, the world stops spinning. Debt has become its greatest weapon and its greatest weakness. Nations that once feared owing money now fear a world without American debt. Because when the empire of IOUs collapses, it drags everyone down with it. In the end, America built a trillion-dollar empire not on gold or steel, but on confidence. A collective belief that debt equals wealth and paper equals power. Empires of old conquered with armies. This one conquered with contracts. But every promise has an expiration date, and someday the bill for this illusion of endless credit will come due. So, what do you think? Did America master the art of financial alchemy, or just write the biggest IOU in history? Let me know what side you're on in the comments.